Hi there, welcome to our weekly Performance Edge Weekly Wisdom. So here, all the way from this beautiful valley, guess what it is? This is Sedona in Arizona. I'm right here in top of a cathedral rock. If you haven't been, it's a beautiful place. And I'm just sitting here and just thinking about you, how today, this week, we're going to talk about Performance Edge Weekly Wisdom. Very powerful. So this week, we're going to talk about how to optimize your cognitive mind. How to optimize your cognitive mind. You ready? So as you know, you probably have heard me talk about the limitation of cognitive mind, but in this video today, I'm going to help you things you haven't seen anywhere. Literally that if you listen and pay attention, that will allow you to hack your cognitive mind and go to the next level, right? So I'm sure we all heard about the fight or flight, right, or freeze response, right? Which is our lowest, consciousness, right? That's what the animal instinct, right? You see the lions fight, over deer run away, right? And in human, we all have that level of consciousness. That's our lowest consciousness, right? It's fight, flight, or freeze, right? It's that lowest instinctive, some people call it animal, consciousness or mind, whatever it is, but it doesn't matter. But I just wanted to describe you a different level of consciousness so you can see, right? And I'm gonna talk about the cognitive mind, but definitely giving you the tool in this video so that next time you are aware and you can optimize your cognitive mind. Okay? So in that fight, flight, or freeze, what's happening? We are at the bottom of all this, it's fear, right? Fear, right? At the bottom of all this, right? Fight, flight, freeze, if you can put a little fear, right? So fear, why? Because the consciousness survival, right? Fear what it doesn't know, right? So it's fear of unknown, right? So we human, we are privileged with a cognitive mind, right? We have what I call the mid-consciousness level, right? Which allow us to Homo sapiens, right? We know that we know, right? And that's what allow us to think about what we're thinking about, right? And that's really powerful. Yes? Now, what I'm excited about is the new era that all the masters have talked about. And that's a third level of consciousness, that's a high level of consciousness, where I call it the integrative mind, right? You go beyond the cognitive mind. But how do you get to that? Let me share with you how to optimize your cognitive mind. And then, I teach people, how to go to that integrative mind, that holistic mind. But let's just share with you the cognitive mind. The beauty about the cognitive mind is that that's what allows us to go to the moon, right? That's a Newtonian mechanics, right? But the third level of consciousness, the high level of consciousness, is based on quantum physics. And that's what I'm talking about, the quantum dot. That's exactly that. Allowing us to move from a particle to a wave, to a flow, right? If you're an athlete, right, or you've been a CEO, you're in a speech, you are like what you're thinking, if you're an artist, right, you're in that flow, right? You're in that third level of consciousness. At that level, right, matter disappear, you connected to the field, right? And just to be a little nerdy here, right? In quantum physics, quantum mechanics, right, the particle moves into, right, I guess as you go smaller, right, you talk about, right, the quanta, right, you go all the way to, right, it becomes light, right, and it goes in the field, right? So that's exactly that. So when we are functioning at that third level of integrative mind, right, we are integrated, right, all part of us, right, the mind, the body, the emotion, the spirit, everything's integrated. But how to get to that? That's what all the masters have talked about, right? But before to get to that, I want to share with you something that you haven't seen anywhere, and that's what I share with you. Hopefully, I'm sure it's going to serve you, right? It's this. So the cognitive mind has to reach a level, right? And then that's in the border of that high integrative, what I call integrative mind, right? So again, there is that lowest consciousness, that cognitive mind consciousness, and then there is that high level consciousness. Now, I talked about the fight, flight, or freeze, right? Which is all below, it's all about fear. Now, here is the thing. With the cognitive mind, there are three modes we are in. Three modes, right? Three modes. We are either in denial, or we are in defiance, or we are in disguise. That's when you are at that cognitive mind, that's what brings you, that's what fixes you. That's why you are a particle, right? Because the cognitive mind, the strength and the blessing of cognitive mind is that its power is to differentiate, right? To differentiate, right? It's separate, right? That's what the power of cognitive mind is. So it's always comparing, right? Black or white. You're probably looking at the background here, right? What I'm looking at, the mountains, right? You're looking, oh, what is Soul doing? So your mind, that mind, cognitive mind is always comparing, judging, right? So it's beautiful. But in order to go to that third layer of, right, of consciousness, you need to, it has to be holistic, it's integrative, right? But let me share with you the cognitive mind. So as you go on your daily life, you can notice and you can see what I'm talking about, right? I'm sure you notice, right? Like animals, lions, what makes us powerful? Because we are able to go beyond the fear or fight or flees, because there is something higher in us that says, okay, this is just a psychological fear, right? I don't need to worry about it. Now, similarly, in order to escape, right? So you don't fight that consciousness. You get that, right? So I always like to share that example of judo, right? In judo, when someone punch you, what you do, you don't punch back. You take that energy and absorb it and move in the direction. When someone pulled you, you do the same thing, right? It's a higher consciousness. When you fight like that, that's what creates war. That's what creates everything, right? You don't want to get at that level. You want to instead rise above, and then, and that's how you move, right? That's really powerful, right? So let me come back to the cognitive mind default mode. It's either in defiance, it's either in denial, or it's in disguise. Got it? So literally, so think about it. When you are fixated, when you feel you are stuck somewhere, right? With a spouse, at work, with a market, if you're CEO, with your team, if you're a coach, right? If you're performing, right? If you're an athlete performing, there is that, when you feel stuck, it's because you are in that cognitive mind, and that cognitive mind has 3 modes. Again, you haven't seen anywhere, but I'm sharing that with you, right? You are either in defiance mode, you are either in denial, or you are disguised, right? Like ostrich. I want you to think about a situation where you feel stuck or you felt stuck, literally, right? How could what denial could look like? It's basically you are in a situation, but you're not kind of recognizing a fact, right? Got it, right? It's like the fact that if you're an athlete, let's say, let's say basketball, soccer, right? You're being led, right? Basically, you're losing 3-0, or rather in basketball, if you have 15 minutes left and you're losing. So the denial is, okay, we're gonna make it. The denial is to look at, right? So if you're in denial, the reason things are not moving, you're in denial, so you're not recognizing a fact. That's one just small example I gave you, right? But you will see it in many ways. That's really why you are stuck, the denial, right? So ask yourself, if you're stuck, am I in denial? What am I denying? Now, if you are well aware of a situation, you are not in denial. The other thing can be disguised, like the ostrich, right? Is things are maybe looking a different way, right? Right? While the reality is right in front of you, right? So that can be disguised, right? And so in that way, it can be usually sometimes deeper spheres, right? So it's disguised, right? The example is, if you you're afraid of public speaking, but you kind of stuck because you want to talk, and you say, I don't want to lose my job, right? So there's a disguise there, right? And last, right, defiance. What is defiance? Defiance is basically a part of you that's stuck, that say, okay, this is my standard, this is the way things are supposed to be. This is should, right? This is a standard, it's a must, right? So in that consciousnness, in that mindset, you are in defiance, right? Or it's supposed to rain today, it didn't rain, and the reason should, right? It's defiance, right? So that's where a cognitive mind is. So that's where a cognitive mind functions in those 3 modes, right? Like the lowest consciousness function at basically fear, flight, freeze. The cognitive mind function at defiance, denial, or disguise. Sounds good? And underneath all this, guess what is this? It's what's below that. It's arrogance. Arrogance. I know it's arrogance, right? Because I will talk about it to succeed, to get to that higher consciousness. There is something that has to go. All right. I know I want to share a lot, but as you can see, I'm really inspired here in this in Sedona. Taking a deep breath, and I really want to share that with you. And I want to share something really that's really unique, and hopefully it helps you, right? So think about that. So people were asking me, how do I get being stuck? So that's one of the trick. Performance Edge Weekly Wisdom this week. Got it? All the way from Sedona in Arizona. Just sending you that. Okay? So now that's a homework for you. So I would be curious to hear, in any situation that you have in your life where you're stuck, where you feel stuck, or you felt stuck in the past, I would be curious to hear whether you felt that, where you were able to see yourself. Were you in defiance, in denial, or in disguise? Hopefully you're not stuck anymore, right? That's really the thing. But if you are not, ping me. I'll be really happy to share that with you and serve you. I hope this video serves you. And this is really Soul all the way from Sedona today for your Performance Edge Weekly Wisdom. Till next time, live your truth. Talk to you soon. Bye.